I'm going to talk about Trayvon Martin. You know, I got to be honest, I don't remember the guy's name who shot him. Was it George or something like that? So the media says that Trayvon Martin was murdered. He was a victim. Barack Obama put the hood on. There were people in Congress putting the hoods on, etc. Trayvon Martin was not a victim. Trayvon Martin was a bad person. He was a youth who had lots of problems with the law. He had lots of disciplinary problems at school. He was a drug user. He may have been on drugs at the time, and he was a threatening person. He was a bad person, and he tried to kill whatever that guy's name was. I don't remember. It was a Hispanic name. He tried to kill that guy. Now, I know this because I investigated. I didn't read the news reports because the news media is garbage. They don't investigate. They report things. What I did was I read the 911 transcripts, and I looked for the witness testimony, who the witnesses were. There were like 3 or 4 witnesses. And I watched videos where they interviewed witnesses, and I made my decision based on that. And I read some facts about the case. So let's talk about Trayvon Martin. He had lots of problems at school. I think they said like 160 disciplinary actions. He was a football player. He was a lot taller than the other guy, the Hispanic guy. He was a lot stronger. The other guy was short. He was a short man, like 5'6". Trayvon Martin was tall and a football player. Trayvon Martin, playing football, was trained to tackle people, which he did. I have been tackled by a football player. I will absolutely tell you that football players know how to tackle people. I was standing. I'm a fat person. He was a small kid. He was like 2 years younger than me, and we're talking about when he was like 10 and I was like 12. He was a little kid. Maybe he was 4 years younger than me, and he played football. I don't remember. Maybe I was 16, but the point was that this kid tackled me, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. People who train in football know how to tackle people, and that's what Trayvon Martin did to this guy. So, and there was, I guess he was on drugs or marijuana or something like that. So what happened was he was walking through a residential area. The guy, maybe his name was George, was concerned because there was a lot of crime and he was part of the neighborhood watch. And the kid knew that he was being followed. And he was acting suspicious, which led to the 911 call. Obviously, he sees people walking through the neighborhood all the time, and he doesn't call 911. So this was someone who had to have done something that was suspicious. So Trayvon wanted to assault him. And what he did was he went far away, went around all the buildings, knew the general area where he was, got up, got behind him, and tackled him like a football tackle. And then apparently was hitting his head on the ground, and then he pulled out the gun and shot him. So then we have a 911 call, and the 911 call says there's this guy, and I've been following him. And the 911 operator said, "Oh, we don't need you to do that." And people say, well, because the 911 operator told him not to follow him, he's guilty. Not true. That's just absolute nonsense. The 911 operator is not an officer. He's not a police officer. He has absolutely no right, and that you are under no obligation to follow what a 911 operator says under any circumstances. So he did follow him. Trayvon went around the back, got around him, and tackled him. He's not guilty of killing him because he followed him until he left the neighborhood. But that's what people say, and that's what people believe, and they're wrong. So we got to the point where he shot him. I believe there were 3 witnesses. He shot him in front of someone's house. That man was in the house. He heard gunshots. I think he called 911. I think he opened the door and kind of saw that the shooting had already occurred. And the killer, the guy who killed him, the Hispanic guy, said, "Oh, I shot somebody, call the police." he made some sort of weird off-the-cuff comment. Oh, I just killed a guy. Call the police. Something like that. Or, oh, there's nothing wrong. I don't think he said that, but he said something that was a little bit weird. He didn't say, oh my God, please call the police. He said something that was a little strange. There was a woman in a nearby building who heard what she said is a little boy screaming. And based on that, she says that Trayvon Martin was innocent. But it's just nonsense. So she believes it was Trayvon Martin that was screaming because he was younger, and she said it was a little boy screaming. Now, and I believe they actually did scream tests, and the mother said, oh yeah, that's my son screaming, or some stupid nonsense. It's like, that doesn't prove, like a mother knows what her son sounds like when he screams, and the son's 16 years old. Just stupid nonsense. Now, a little boy is little because his windpipe is smaller. The Hispanic guy was the smaller guy of the two. And we don't know. Maybe Trayvon had a deep voice. We don't know. We don't know. But this woman is wrong to say that because it sounds like a little boy screaming that it has to be the younger person. That's not the way. Their ages were about 10 years apart. I think 16 versus 26. She did not see what happened. Based on screaming alone, she said, oh, whatever. So, okay, she said that Trayvon was a victim. Then there was another witness. The witness was a black teen who was younger than 16. Maybe he was 12, 13, 14. I don't remember. And this is what he said. He said he saw a man in a gray shirt beating up another man who was on the ground. The guy on the ground had a dark-colored shirt, which was black or red or something like that. And Trayvon had a white, I believe it was a white hoodie, which could easily at nighttime be confused for gray. And the color of the clothing that the Hispanic guy was wearing was not something you would confuse with for gray. So the only witness testified that Trayvon Martin was the guilty party. And I know that the Hispanic guy went to jail, but I don't remember the full details of it. But maybe he didn't go, maybe he was only in jail for a short period of time. I don't really remember, because I do think he did get out of jail and he got divorced, and maybe he was involved with other crimes or got police tickets. So I don't think he was found guilty. But there were people in the media saying, kill this man. I don't remember who said it, but I heard it more than once in the media. The news media, television stations were showing videos of black people saying somebody needs to kill this guy, the Hispanic guy. That is wrong. And the news media never should have aired videos like that. That is absolute hate speech, and it's insightful. And I'm shocked that nobody said anything about it. And then you have Barack Obama and people in Congress putting on their hoodies. And Barack Obama said, oh, Trayvon, he could have been my son. If I had a son, it would have been Trayvon. The facts were out there, and the facts were made available quickly. It didn't take months to get the testimony from the kid. The police investigate immediately. But the facts were out there. And nobody investigated and said, hey, this kid saw it. He also happens to be black. He doesn't have a racial motive. He was the only one that saw it, and he said that Trayvon was guilty trying to kill the other guy, and it was self-defense. And the media never reported that. If you research this case, you're going to find that that was true, and that's what happened. And if he did go to court and everything, he did get off. I think even, like, the governor someone was really after him, saying, oh, we're going to get you and put you in jail. I mean, you have access to the evidence. If you're prosecuting, you have that evidence, and you know that he was innocent. We have a horrible judicial system. The media the profit motive is a problem. These people want to get promotions to be federal judges, so they want to win their case, and they'll put an innocent person in prison in order to win their case, to get media notoriety, so that when they run for office, they get name recognition and they get voted into office. Trump got voted into office because of name recognition and virtually nothing else. And Hillary had name recognition and virtually nothing else. So name recognition is huge. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronald Reagan, same thing. Ronald Reagan was a famous actor. He did westerns. Bonanza he might have done. So the Trayvon Martin case, sadly, most people don't have the facts. George Zimmerman was the guy's name. George Zimmerman was innocent in that matter. And there was a catch-22 because something about his case affected another case. If people said, "Oh, we got to change the laws in order to make him guilty," there was another woman who was black who had a similar case where she fired a gun, but she didn't kill her husband. She just fired the gun. And if Zimmerman were guilty, she would have been guilty too. But the problem was she insisted she was innocent. She claimed she fired her gun by accident. I mean, come on. She was not firing her gun by accident. What happened was her husband was chasing her, and she ran into the garage where the gun was, got the gun, ran back after the husband and shot, but didn't hit him. And something about and she got like 10 years in prison because in Florida, if you fire your gun, you automatically get 10 years in prison. But there was something linked about the case where if Zimmerman was guilty, she's guilty also. I think it was because it had to have been because she was trying to argue that it was self-defense, and Zimmerman was arguing it was self-defense. But they were trying to say, for some reason, there's a gun law in Florida, something about self-defense. I really don't remember what it's called, but it fell under what happened with her also. Okay, so when you want to verify facts, don't read news articles, don't read blogs, don't read people's opinions. Verify facts. Look at the 911 documents and the transcripts. Look at the written testimony. And you don't want to find excerpts of the testimony. You want to find the whole testimony and read everything, because people will leave out the key word that makes the person sound the opposite. The guy who had the basketball team, that's what they did to him. He was innocent. He didn't hate black people, but they took out the last phrase that made it sound like he hated black people. And he lost his basketball team, $2 billion basketball team. You know, they railroaded him, but that's another video.